Hello, Leo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Leo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a timeless reading. This energy was activated the moment you clicked on this video. Try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Leo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we've got a Prince of Swords. This is a fixed air energy. Sometimes this card is about a difficulty making a decision. It's kind of like we're on the fence about something. Maybe we're wondering, should we continue the course we're on? Should we make a course correction? Maybe we are wondering if the move we just made was the right one. Okay, I think you're somebody with a very strong power of self-reflection. That you very rarely do anything just sort of impulsively or without thinking it through beforehand, or at least looking back at it afterwards and thinking, what did I do? So you're somebody who, maybe takes some time. Maybe you're not so quick to make these decisions and to make these big moves in your life. I feel like there's something going on right now where you either started something really quickly, like you just jumped in, or you are about to. Okay? Because I feel like there's this kind of, there's almost a hindsight here where it's just like, wow, what did I get myself into? Let's put this card into a little bit of context. Okay? We've got the world. We've got the whole universe. We've got a Nine of Swords underneath. We've got a Knight of Wands behind us. And the Empress above us. Oh, yeah. This, obviously is a Knight of Swords. This is a cardinal energy. This is to me, this feels like a burst, a rush kind of decision. And now we're trying to sort of stay the course. Maybe we're looking forward, but we're looking backwards also thinking, gosh, I can't believe that I did this so quickly, or I can't believe that this, has happened the way it did, right? And we've got that World card. Here we have another Knight. Yeah, okay, so the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords both are very kind of impulsive energies. They're both kind of led by this fiery instinct, right? Both of these. So very interesting to get the cardinal energy on both sides there. Over here we have the Taurus energy. We have a fixed earth energy. It's the Hierophant. We have a Four of Cups. Six of Swords. Yeah, very good. And a Princess of Cups. The Princess of Cups, I think, is really you trying to figure out how you feel about something. Trying to really navigate this by saying, you know what, I'm just going to feel it out. If it feels good, if it feels right, if I like it, I'm going to keep going down that path. I'll keep doing it until it doesn't feel right anymore. And so it's kind of like we're trusting our feelings a little bit here. Okay? And I think that's a strong shift for you, because all this air energy, you're usually a very rational person. You do think things through quite thoroughly. And in this case, I think you're kind of jumping into something with your heart, and it may be, your mind could be sort of reeling a little bit, thinking, oh no, what are we getting ourselves into? This could end very, very badly. Yes, but it could end very, very goodly. It could be the best thing that's ever happened to you. I do think this is a kind of an overnight change where you're used to things going quite slowly. You're used to things sort of developing over time and feeling things out, thinking things through, and maybe analyzing things more. It's kind of like you like to have the plan. You like to have the map, the MapQuest directions printed out, right? Before you start on your road trip, right? I feel like you kind of just got in the car and you started going. And I was like, I don't really have the map, but for some reason I feel like this time around I don't need the map, you know. So let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown, and we're going to set it down right here with Bubo, the mechanical owl, right on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and will give us the confirmation that we need. If at any point during this program you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction down in the comments. All right, let's take a look around the room. Major, 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 three major arcana energies. We're trying to create a world, okay? I think Spirit is really telling you, don't delay here. Don't spend too much time thinking about something. It's time for action. It's time to trust your instinct, trust your feeling, trust your, whatever you want to call it, the intuition, trust the impulse, okay? And not delay something, because this is kind of like the universe card is kind of sitting on top of you right now. It kind of feels like things are way too slowed down. And I'm starting to feel like this is a decision that you're sort of looking at, that you want to jump into, but your tendency is to sit and think and figure things out and try to get the step-by-step plan. It's like you're trying to really not just think of what's the next step I should take, but what's the second, third, what's the 100th step I'm going to need to take? Well, in this case for you in your life, that's almost futile, right, to try to do that. I think that it might just be a matter of understanding why you're doing something. Just get that feel, understand what you really care about, why this is so important to you. Why do you want to take this step? Why are you looking down this pathway? If you understand the why, you'll figure out the how. You'll figure out the how. The Six of Swords will develop over time. Okay? So I feel like you're making a decision to commit to something because you do care about it, because you want it, because it means the most to you, whatever the reason is. Whatever the why is, okay? Spirit's telling you, don't delay. The longer we delay, the more confused we will get, the more kind of miserable we'll get, right? So we've got the Nine of Swords down here too. So major arcana, we have a little bit of fire. We've got our water energies. We've got air, quite a bit of the air energy, right? We don't have any of the earth energy, but the earth energy is implied in both of these places, right? Taurus energy, earth. We have a Princess of Cups, which is earth of water, right? The princesses are all about the practical sort of movements, the behavior, the manipulation of material resources, you know. So we have the implication of the earth energy there, and we have the implication of the earth here with the Empress, kind of a Mother Earth energy. It's about the life that you're creating. It's like you have this vision. You know the good life is out there for you. You know the life of your dreams is out there for you. You got to know why you want that, why you're considering this particular path. Let's say you're thinking of you want to start a business. Okay, why? Why? Is it for the money? No, I don't think it's for the money. Is it for the community? Is it for the way that you're going to be able to sort of give your gift to the world? Do you feel like there's a natural sort of inclination toward whatever the business is? If you're creating something to sell, like a craft or something like this, is it because of what you're going to be able to give to others? You know, what is the service that you're offering? Are you a healer? It feels like you're a healer. Yeah. The Empress there is sort of representing that life that we want. A life where we are giving, where we are of service, and a life that's taking care of us at the same time. It's not selfish to want a life that's going to take care of you. It's not selfish to say, I want to be of service to the world, but I also want to have a roof over my head and healthy food to eat. You know, and so this is kind of that reciprocating life. This is really the good life for you. Okay. And this is what you want. The Princess of Cups is sort of like you're taking steps to make the dream come true. And it's something that you're going almost impulsively forward with, not waiting for the whole plan. So the absence of any overt earth cards. We don't have an Ace of Pentacles. We don't have a 9 or a 10 of Pentacles. You're not doing it for the money. Now, of course, the world is the world card too. It's also earth energy. But it's the discipline, right? The discipline of our sort of daily lives. You don't have any of the small pip cards in the suit of pentacles because you're not doing it for the money, and because it doesn't really matter what you're doing. To me, or to spirit, right? It doesn't matter what you're doing, so long as you understand why you want to do it. And why you want to do it is going to lead you toward this surge of creative energy that just says, I got to just start somewhere. I can't wait till I got the whole world figured out before I start. So the world card here is kind of this, it's almost the raw material of the world. It's saying you have this great idea. What are you going to build? You have this blank canvas in front of you. What are you going to paint? Right? You got this future in front of you. What are you going to build? What kind of life are you going to build? Are you going to be on top of the world, or is the world going to be on top of you, kind of crushing us down? And we see a very stark contrast between the Nine of Swords and the Empress, right? They're opposites right now. And it's kind of like the world that you're creating can go either way. And if we sit and think about it and worry about it and wonder and try to plan every single detail out, chances are our world is going to start looking a lot like this. It's going to start to look miserable. We're going to be losing sleep. We're going to be in despair. This is really the card of lamentation. This is the card of misery. Because we're not building the good life we want. We're either resigned to the bad life we don't want, or we're so busy thinking about and worrying about the plan to create the good life that we're not actually out here creating that good life, right? Fire to the earth, fire to the Empress energy. Air to earth is like we're thinking about doing stuff, but we're not doing it. The Saturn and earth components of this card indicate the discipline necessary, right? And maybe this is kind of like if we know why we're doing something, we'll start to understand how we're going to do it. Okay, what do we need to do to get it done? I may not have the exact plan going forward. I may not know exactly step by step what to do, but what do we need? What kind of discipline do we need to build the world that we want? What kind of skills do I need to learn to build the world I want? Do I need to network with people? I feel like your relationships need improvement. Okay. Are you arranging a better environment for yourself? Do you see the need for you to put yourself in literally in a better environment? You know, to arrange your immediate environment, the color of your wallpaper kind of thing. To change that in order to foster more creativity, or do you have to arrange your workspace so there's more, feng shui, so it's more conducive to your well-being and conducive to the work that you're doing. Okay? So this card is a lot of those things. It's kind of recognizing how we start. We don't need to know every step of the way. We don't have to have the MapQuest directions, but we got to know. You want to go on a road trip, right? You got to know where you're going and why you're going there. Okay, how we're going to get there, well, I don't know that yet. But we need to at least know, well, first you got to kind of know how to drive. You got to have your clothes on, you got to get in the car, you got to have the keys, maybe you need your wallet. I think you would need your wallet. And you got to know how to start the engines. You got to know how to get fired up. You got to know how to get motivated to take that first step, right? And I think if we're too busy in our air energy, too busy thinking about it, we're going to lose some of that fiery inspiration. See, that Nine of Swords, we're not sleeping at night, but it's because we're not doing what we know we want to be doing, right? We know the why and the what, but we're not there yet. We're not doing it. And that, I think, creates such an anxiety in us, and I'm sure we've all had that feeling where we know what we want to do, we know why we want to do it, but for whatever reason, there are a million reasons why we're not doing it right now. Why? Why aren't we doing it? Right? Is there something else that we are committed to that is preventing us from doing what we really need and want to do to improve our life, to build the life that we want? Are there other obligations that are preventing us? Is it our own mind, our own past and history that sort of we're telling ourselves this, very negative story, that we have this very kind of difficult narrative that we're going through, running through all the time, that's preventing us from getting up and just taking that first step and getting fired up. This is a card that says we are motivated. And maybe that really is the most difficult step, is to just break the inertia. This is, a body in motion, and a body at rest will stay at rest, right? Until we really focus on this dream and we allow those feelings to bubble up, to activate, to really get us going. And well, that sort of fires us up. Okay, so the first thing we really need to do is get motivated here. Yeah. We're motivated in a couple of ways. One, by understanding the life that we do not want, with that 9 of Swords. Understanding the life that we do not want, and also understanding the life that we do want. Looking at this while keeping this kind of in the back of the mind that says, I'm not going here. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to sacrifice my best life for any reason. Okay? And that's part of the discipline too. It's kind of like you go to the gym every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. Well, your friend calls you at 6:30. I guess that's pretty early. Calls you at 6:30 and says, "Hey, let's go out to breakfast." And you say, "I can't. This is my gym time." You're not going to kill your dream by being loose with your discipline. Okay? And it's kind of like you set yourself up in this, in a structure, in a routine, in a schedule for wins, right? And it's kind of like, and the discipline is sticking to that. The discipline is, it's easy to get motivated, I guess. It's easy to get fired up and say, all right, I'm going to start going to the gym every day. The first day we go, we're fired up. But then the discipline kicks in when we can keep doing it over and over and over again. And we're figuring it out as we go. Every day we're trying to kind of plan a couple moves ahead maybe. But the discipline is what is keeping us to that path. Okay, so the fire that we have, the cardinal energy with the this is a fire of fire, this is a fire of air. We're keeping ourselves motivated, but we're keeping ourselves moving, and we're staying disciplined to the path. Now this Prince of Swords becomes a fixed air energy. It becomes the promise that we make to ourselves. It becomes it becomes our word. It becomes our belief. It becomes our statement that we've made. This is what I'm doing, and this is the discipline that I have to keep doing what I say I'm going to do, right? So we have the motivation and thought that we're thinking positively, and I think that's really what the Knight of Swords is all about here. Is let's get ourselves motivated by thinking about the goal and thinking how we do not want this, right? And then let's make the decision. Let's say, yes, we're doing it. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's get fired up. Let's move forward. Okay. So I think that your life is really changing overnight. I feel like you're just kind of waking up one morning and you're saying, today's the day I'm going to start doing it. I don't think that we're going to spend a lot of time. I think you already have spent a lot of time thinking about it, The change really begins when the change really begins. Thinking about it for years doesn't really make a difference. I don't think we're any closer to the goal. Taking action, that's what this card is really all about. It's just getting on the horse and saying, giddy up, right? And letting that horse carry us away, letting our own instinct, motivation, our own impulse, letting it carry us away. The horse here is running off with the rider. And we're on the horse's back and we're holding on. And we're going to navigate, we're going to steer, we're going to slow down if we need to, but we're just going. We're not waiting for the MapQuest directions to print out of that old desk jet printer, it takes an hour for a page. We're just saying, I'm just going to go. I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to do it. This could be a new hobby for you. It could be a new skill you're trying to learn, a business you're trying to build. It could be a relationship. It could be a career, a vocation, whatever your calling is. You know what it is and you know why you want to do it. The only thing left is to is to make that final decision. Flip that switch in your mind that says, I'm not thinking about doing it, I'm switching over to doing it. Yeah, and that's what we got. Going from thought to action. Okay, and I do think you are a healer of some kind. With the Empress energy up top here, I feel like you are sort of, I don't know, you're feeding things or feeding people. I don't know if you're taking care of people or kids or animals. Maybe you're taking care of plants or nature, or you're a conservationist, or maybe you just have a garden in your yard, and this is like, you know what, I'm going to stop thinking about it. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to dig a hole, put some seeds in there, and I'm going to get going, you know? So I feel like you're taking care of something, right? This is the card of like taking care of everything. And I feel like you're going to take care of this, and you're going to be so good and so disciplined at taking care of this stuff. People, pets, plants, people, whatever it is. And that life that you're building, those relationships, that world that you're building is going to take care of you as well. You're healing others, you're healing yourself. You're lifting others up, other people are becoming successful, and so are you. Maybe you're a motivational kind of speaker. Maybe you are going into the medical field, or you're going into spiritual work, spiritual healing, energy work, something like this. Yeah. I think you're meant to be a healer. Yeah. So I don't know if that's something related anyway to you. So the path of the dove, I think, is quite straightforward. We're removing the delay. We realize that if we're gonna get the life we want, we've got to remove any restrictions that we put on ourselves. And that restriction seems to be, I want to have a plan first. I got to figure it out. I got to figure out the step-by-step stuff, you know. Let's talk about the path of the serpent, because the first thing we encounter here is the Hierophant. One of my least favorite cards, the Hierophant. The least favorite because it's so complex. It's straightforward, but to me it's always such a mystery, the Hierophant, right? And I think that's kind of its nature. It's the Hierophant. It's the sacred. It's the giver of the sacred wisdom, right? And sometimes you hear that phrase and you're like, sacred wisdom, huh? I'm skeptical. I'm taking that with a grain of salt, right? By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. To me, the Hierophant is your general energy. And sometimes this is, we think we know what's best, you know? Sometimes this is, you know what, I think I know what's best for me. I think I know, or I should know the right way to do everything. This is kind of like, I know everything that I need to know. There's nothing else I have to learn, right? So it's sort of saying, like, if I don't already know the directions from California to New York, then I'm not going to drive. It gives us a cognitive dissonance, right? Because it's like, I should know how to drive from here to there. Well, you go east anyway. But you know, to not already know how to do something, it's almost as if we don't understand how that could possibly happen, so we're just going to put that thing out of our mind. And I think that's why we have this Nine of Swords underneath the surface here, because there's some sort of, I don't know if it's a cognitive dissonance that's going on, but it feels like, it feels like we're sort of shocked that we don't already have the plan, that we don't know exactly how to navigate this and how to move forward. Okay, the Hierophant is a very, again, it's kind of a rigid knowledge. It's a very rigid wisdom. And I think that your mind is having a difficulty going from everything is sort of orderly, everything is routine, everything is sort of predictable. I know how to do what I do. I'm good at my job. I'm good at what I'm doing. I know how to function in this space. To then going this way, which is just very impulsive and very novel and very spontaneous and very impulsive, that just kind of says, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm putting myself out on this path where I feel like a child. I feel like a fool. I feel like a student. I feel like I have no idea what this is. I've never seen this stuff before, right? And I don't think you're doing this in a kind of conscious way, but I feel like as human beings, we have a tendency to keep doing what we've always done because we feel like I've gotten an expert. I've gotten to become an expert at this. I've gotten good at this. It's become so familiar. I've done this so many times. I've created the grooves literally in my brain, right, with the neuroplasticity that says I could do it in my sleep. But now we're doing something that is breaking with tradition. It's breaking with the structure, with the conformed life that we've had. Okay. And in some ways, we get very comfortable and we get very familiar even with these negative states of mind, the negative, functions of mind, let's say, because it's a nine of swords. It's a function. It's a habit. It's a verb, right? The way we're thinking about ourselves and about the world. And I think this is our view of the world, very negative view of the world, right? But we get comfortable there. We say, I'm kind of an expert in misery, I'm comfortable here. I'm sort of the master of this domain. It's very familiar. But the Knight of Wands is taking us outside. We're going against the grain. We're not conforming to what we've always known, what we've always done. And so there is this force in you that even if you kind of know consciously that I don't want my life to stay the same. I want to go pursue this new thing that you really care about, right? You know what it is and you know why you want to do it. But there's that part of us that says, we're already the master here of this domain, right? We're already kind of in control. This is already my space. I'm already the ruler here. Why are we, I'm already, already the master, already the expert of this. Why would I go venture down this new path where I have to take off my crown of wisdom and just be raw and open and be a beginner? Why should I go back to white belt? It's like you're a black belt in this and you're a white belt in this, right? And it's kind of like, the Hierophant is that, I think, a very unconscious part of us that's like, why would I go be a white belt somewhere? I'm already a black belt. Yeah, but you're a black belt in misery. All right, go be a white belt in paradise. Go be a white belt in your happiest, best life. Go be, it's like you're the mayor of Misery Town. Just go be a wanderer that is just trying to step inside the border of Big Rock Candy Mountain. Eventually you'll become the mayor there too. But it's kind of like, why would I go back to white belt when I'm already a black belt in something or whatever? I don't know. Is there a belt beyond black? Is purple beyond black or no? I don't know. You get the idea, right? So the Hierophant would rather stay doing what we're comfortable doing and what we're already good at doing, even if consciously we're thinking, I don't want to do it anymore, right? So we got to deal with that. And I think that's kind of creating this split. There is this, kind of intellectual, mental turmoil that's sort of brewing underneath the surface, and that's the kind of the delay. So it's a risk. I mean, it is kind of going back to white belt here. It's changing your life overnight. It's saying, well, I could be the mayor over here, or I could just go be a regular old, citizen here and try to work my way up. Okay. The Four of Cups is kind of the same sort of energy, because this is sort of a locked up feeling energy. It's kind of saying like your dreams are in there, but your dreams aren't really activated. You're not really going anywhere with them right now. The Four of Cups is like a sailboat that just refuses to sail. It's denying its own nature, right? It's just kind of saying, oh, I'm fine in the dock. I'm fine in the harbor, just being a sailboat here, tied up to the dock, and it's not so scary here in the harbor. It's a safe place. Right? We're in a safe place. And maybe we feel like we're in this safe place because we've been through a storm before and we don't want to be in another storm. This is like the storm shelter in your house, right? Big storm comes in, what do? You go down to the storm shelter where it's safe. Yeah, obviously. But then when the weather clears up and the birds start singing again and the sun starts shining again, do you stay in the storm shelter and you live there eating the canned beans and stuff? Like, do you stay? No, you go back upstairs. And you say, okay, we got to keep moving forward. What do we got to do? What's the next step? Right. So staying down here is kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of hiding ourselves away. It's like we have that dream. We have this princess of cups, right? But we're sort of locking her up in that four of cups, kind of a tower. It's kind of a, not even a tower, it's more like a little dungeon. Locking her up in there and just saying, no, it's not worth it for me emotionally to try this, to do this, to follow this dream. Yeah. To let this one out. And this is, of course, in the position of your relationships and your environment. And it feels to me like we need to understand about ourselves what kind of life we want. Okay. And I think right now you're on the brink of really opening up your heart and following that dream and letting yourself feel. Because if you're feeling a 9 of Swords unconsciously, kind of like, deep down in here, the 4 of Cups is saying that you're not really admitting it outwardly. The 4 of Cups is us kind of like, I feel like absolute, poop. But I'm trying to be okay. I'm going to pretend, I'm going to put on a smile and say, I'm okay, I like it here. But we don't. We're sort of trying to smooth it over. Okay. So it feels like we have this impulse. We know we've got to get out there and sail the open ocean. But there's that part of us that's just staying in the harbor, tied up to the dock and saying, I'm safer here. I'm okay here. I like it here. It's nice here. The other boats are nice, But you're not doing what the sailboat is supposed to do, which is to sail, right? The 6 of Swords is sort of the obstacle. This is what the fear, the worry, the concern is that we won't have the plan. The fear is that we're going to sail the boat right into chaos and we're not going to have any kind of structure or any ability to navigate. And that's kind of what we've been talking about. The 6 of Swords is the plan. It is the blueprint. It is the navigation directions. It's the navigational plotting of the course. It's the MapQuest directions that you've printed out, and here they are, big thick stack of paper, right? The turn-by-turn directions. God, those were the days, right? You don't have this. And the obstacle is for you to follow your heart and not need to have this. So in a way, we need to shut off our mind, because the mind is sitting there trying to figure out, okay, which way do I go? What am I going to go? This way, this way, this way. The Princess of Cups is just saying, which way do I go? I go this way. It's like we're closing our eyes. We're turning off our mind. We're trying to bypass the rational, intellectual mind, and we're trying to navigate with our heart. What feels right to you. Your heart will lead you to your best life, will lead you to paradise here. Okay? And yeah, there may be some storms along the way, but you're fulfilling your nature. You're doing what you are meant to do. You know what this is, and you know why you want to do it. The how is just going to come through discipline, through networking, through being open, through developing the skills that we need to do, to going back to white belt and just saying, I'm going to humble myself, and I'm going to follow my heart, and I'm going to push through all of the difficulties that come with that. Imagine if you're a black belt, suddenly you go back to white belt. It's sort of like you got to humble yourself. You've got to it's like you're going back to, you're going back to college as an adult, right? As a grown adult, you're going back to college, and it's a bunch of 20-year-olds. And it's kind of like you're the oldest person in the room, and you're here you are in I don't know, introductory calculus or something, or algebra 2 or whatever. And it's sort of like, and even the teacher is like a 20-year-old kid, and it's just like, I'm like 50 years old, I don't know how old you are. I'm not 50, not yet. But it's sort of like we have to be able to humble ourselves and just say, I'm following my heart. And it's going to be difficult. Sometimes my conscious mind is going to be like, what the heck am I doing? Why am I doing this? We're coming down from the mountain, and we're putting ourselves back out there, and we're going to do this thing because it means a lot to you. So I feel like it's an overnight change that you've been wanting to do for a long time. Here we are finally doing it. I think you're changing your life. And I think this is that moment we got to flip that switch. Let's look at the mystery card. I'd like to see some better water energy. I want to see like a 9 or a 10 of cups. Yeah. Or we could see the star card, because I feel like you are the star here. And the star is that energy that is sort of lighting our way. We're navigating by starlight. We don't need a map. We don't need the GPS coordinates, the MapQuest directions, turn by turn, printed out, right? We're navigating by starlight. Yeah. And you are the star. Yeah. So maybe I'm hoping for that. But let's see. It's a Queen of Swords. Okay. The Queen of Swords is a mind that is now in service of the heart. Right? Because the queens, they're the watery component of the court cards, right? So the water's inside, the heart is in there, we're aware, we know what we're doing, we know why. And the mind now is in service of that, rather than the heart being in service of the mind. Right? Whatever the mind decides we're going to do, the heart's got to find a way to love it. No. Whatever the heart loves, the mind is going to find a way to make it happen. This is about you figuring out the how. It's like the heart, the spirit, the soul says, I know what and I know why. Mind, intellect, you better figure out how we're going to do this because this is what we want. You know, your heart's calling the shots here. And the mind is going to figure out the path. We're navigating by starlight, you know. And the mind is going to then sort of interpret that and translate that into left, right, faster, slower, you know, whatever it is, right? How to adjust the throttle, that sort of thing. So I think this is a very good card. It's not as spectacular or as dramatic as I was hoping, but it really does show that this mind stuff, all this intellectual energy that we see in all these places, and even with our Hierophant, right, that it's now, the mind is sort of realizing its role here. The mind has to figure out the way to get what the heart wants. Yeah. When I think what's been going on before is that the mind has been trying to figure out, why does the heart want that? Or, you know, we're sort of split minds, right? Where we're just like, yeah, the heart wants it, but it's so much easier where we are. We've already worked hard to get where we are now. We already have like put down roots, or we've been here for a long time. It's like you want to switch careers, but it's like, I've already spent 10 years in this career. Why am I going to switch careers? Right? I've already lived in this house for my whole life. Why am I going to move to a different house? You know, why am I going to start a different business? Why am I going to go back to white belt somewhere else when I've already worked my way up the ladder here? It doesn't make sense. You know, it's not supposed to make sense. The emotions, the soul, the spirit is not rational. It wants what it wants. And you're either going to answer the call and flip the switch and activate the fire energy, or you're not. Okay? And so it's either we're going to go after this, or we're just going to have to figure out a way to be okay with that. And now what we're going to do is an extended reading. We'll do some oracle cards. We'll do an Jing reading. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Leo, Tuesday, Saturday. Be sure to watch both readings, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.